This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net. It is time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John Donalo, because it is Tuesday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time when we come on with the wonderfully weird and irresistible entertainment show. Now, Paul today is going to be talking about clothing design with guys in mind, not women. Women, just take a back seat. We're going to find out what the guys want. Skiing on days when there's no snow, and mystery cakes with secret ingredients. He is also going to uncover the worst jobs in England and the worst breakfast. He says we won't believe either one of them. Uh-oh. I'm afraid when it comes to food. Plus, there will be more odd news from around the globe, fresh world records, trivia, a few strange sports, got to put my mouth back together, and of course, everyone's favorite weird news game, Bluff the Co Hosts. This is real news, sometimes weird, always funny. Please check the show notes so you can see where to find us. Even if you're watching us live right now and you want to come back and see it again, you got to go to those show notes so you know how to find us and know about our sponsors. Because one of the sponsors you will see in just a few minutes. And it's a great book. I think everybody should read it. What would you say to a naked alien? Uh-oh, I don't know. In the meantime, Paul, welcome to your show.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much, Karen Hale, for that wonderful introduction. I have nothing else to say. So we'll talk to you next week. No, that was a great introduction. Thank you so much for reminding me what we're going to be talking about today on What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news show, real news, sometimes weird, always funny. That's our motto. We have been doing this podcast. We are in our 9th year now, 8 years and counting. And having a good time every Tuesday. We've been doing it on Tuesday for a long time. I don't remember what other days. I'm sure, we've moved around occasionally, but Tuesday seems to be our day. 3:30 seems to be our time. Lousy weather seems to be our weather. Although today in Northeast Ohio, where the three of us are, the weather is sunny, as I can see out my window, but freezing cold.
Very cold.
Yeah, for April, we've already had Easter. We've already had the beginning of spring. It should be warm in Cleveland, Ohio. But as everyone here knows, it's the start of baseball season. So that means it's probably going to snow one more time.
Yeah, we had snow early this morning at our place.
That's right, John. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we did have snow. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Not much, but just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since you're listening to all those voices, let's make sure you know who everybody is. I said I'm Paul Seaburn, the host. You may know me from Mysterious Universe, where I was the editor and head writer. You may know me from my comedy writing days with The Tonight Show. You may know me from my comedy writing days today on Facebook. A good place to check out some of the stories we will be that I'm working on during the week before the show. You can find out more about the show there. Karen has a Facebook page as well. I also have a website, paulseaburn.com, where you can get more information about the show, about my books, about the past, maybe about the future. Who knows? The first voice you heard was Karen Hale, our producer, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, our platform. Great platform. Karen has a lot of podcasts there for you to choose from. We're the comedy podcast on the platform. She's got a lot of other great, just you name the subject, she's probably got a podcast for it. And then you can also get some information on Yes I Can Coaching with Karen, her coaching service, and one of our sponsors. Also, while you're there, you can find out more about news13cleveland.com. That's our
Cleveland 13 News.
I'll get it right one of these days, probably the last day of our show. The Cleveland 13 News, our other sponsor, great partner with us. We're looking forward to doing more exciting things with Cleveland's newest internet news platform. So check all that out as well. It's cleveland13news.com, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
is their website. And then that third voice you heard pop up there with his snowy weather report there is none other than John Dinallo, my college buddy, host of What in the World of Sports, an all-around good guy. John, how you doing today?
Doing great, Paul. Looking forward to a great show. And again, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. That sounds like the right thing to do, John. So let's get to it. Karen's already introduced our stories. So let's get right to the one she talked about clothing for guys. So let's for those of you who are watching us on YouTube live or in the future, you'll notice that John and I tend to dress the same way. We're both wearing blue shirts today. Gee, how boring can we possibly be? But the key to what John and I are wearing is the same key to what all guys wear, and that is it didn't smell too bad, so I can wear it another day. That's basically
good point, Paul. Good point.
That's right. That's basically our rule. So this first story is for guys like us who make that kind of decision every morning. Also, guys who like to wear white shirts, especially to Italian restaurants. Now, those who know John and myself know that we never wear white shirts to Italian restaurants anymore, and there's a good reason why. Because we have chests and bellies that tend to.
It's very true, Paul. That is very true.
There you go, John. Drooly kind of. We love our Italian food. It just doesn't always stay where we want it to stay. So a team of scientists in China have developed a solution for people like John, myself, and all you guys out there. The solution is, let's get some photos up here while I can't talk and click at the same time. You would think I could do that, but no. There we go. There's our logo. And as Karen mentioned, there is my book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space of a Space of Alien? Space Alien, available on Amazon. Please check it out there. Also a link at paulseaburn.com. So here's a pile of dirty clothes. Looks like maybe a little smaller than mine, but and I don't have such a variety of colors there, but nonetheless, it's a pile of dirty clothes. So these scientists in China have developed a spray-on coating for clothing that stops dirt and stains from sticking to the fabric. So they spray the coating on, you put it on, you spill your spaghetti sauce all over it, and it slides all the way down. Now, hopefully,
I wish I would have had that when Rich was alive. Oh my God.
You would have needed a double and triple coat, Karen, but yes, you're right. The other thing is, if you're going to do this, before we get any further, make sure you also spray it on your pants so that it continues to slide to the floor where you can conveniently leave it for the restaurant to clean up.
Got it.
So it keeps the stains from sticking to the fabric, which means that they can be cleaned with a simple rinse cycle in cold water without detergent. So, this is going to save money on heating the water. There's electricity. It's going to save money on detergent. It's going to solve our pollution problem. This is the miracle coating we've all been waiting for. And it remains effective for over 100 laundries, 100 washing, which means, John, that that's our underwear, our boxer shorts will now last for infinity.
Wow.
Hard to believe that, Paul. I'll just say it's hard to believe.
Yeah, you guys, you'll be able to pass your boxer shorts on to your sons and your grandson because they'll never need washing, never need serious. You'll never have to throw them away. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
John, you could stop buying red shirts for your trips to the Italian restaurant. Go back to wearing white or whatever color you want.
Yeah, right. No, that would be something. Wow.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even better. the bad news, of course, there is bad news, and that is that if you have T-shirts, you need to put your logo and your pictures and stuff on the T-shirt before you spray them, because if you try to put your like your concert logo on there afterwards, it slides off. It won't stick to the shirt. So they said this is good for the environment. Everybody wants to be good to the environment. This cuts out detergent, or really reduces the amount of detergent. So it's going to be good for the environment. What they don't say, though, is what the ingredients are in the spray, which, as you know, is going to be some weird chemical, or it's going to be uranium, or it's going to be the blood of endangered lizards that they're finding in China somewhere. We still need to know a little bit more information before we really go gung-ho into spraying all of our clothing with this. One group of people that is not into it, all I'll say is that not all of them are cheering.
Oh boy, you got a couple of soap references there, Paul.
Hidden
Very
references.
good.
In fact,
Very good.
They're saying this will not change the tide.
Knew that was coming.
Or gain any market share for them.
Wow. You got a lot of those major soap companies included there, Paul. Wow.
There you go. But work them all in there. I tried to find some more, but Oxidol doesn't fit very well. So, so then I started thinking about this, as I am wont to do with all of these strange stories, and I thought, is clothing really the problem for guys? Is it clothing, or is it something else? Now, I've spent a lot of time in high school locker rooms and in college locker rooms and in gymnasium locker rooms. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's clothing. Maybe what the Axe company needs to do is get this stuff from China and make it into a body spray, so that high school guys can spray their entire body with this, and then the odor will slide off too.
Paul, that might be wishful thinking.
Might be.
Just my opinion.
Good point, John. Good point. We have to leave it to the scientists at X to talk to the scientists in China and see if they can figure it out.
Sure.
Or maybe, maybe the government, our government or some government, needs to put it in the water supply. So cut out X completely, and when the high school guys are taking a shower, it gets applied directly to their bodies and keeps the odors away.
Wow.
So I don't know. I would say, let's find out. We need to keep our eye on this this development further. So in the meantime, you still got to wash your clothes, John. I'm sorry.
Can't get away from that.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. And don't get rid of the red shirts. Okay. So we got a happy birthday. We got a happy birthday to a guy by the name of Ted Martindale. Now, Ted just celebrated his 80th birthday. He lives in British Columbia, and he's a cafe owner there. So he knows about food. And what did I say his name was? Ted. The way that Ted celebrated his 80th birthday, he had his staff. I was going to say he did it, but he directed his staff to bake and assemble a potential world record carrot cake. Here's a picture of the carrot cake right here. Now, you can't get the perspective on here, so I'm going to give you some measurements. This carrot cake measured 17 feet by 17 feet. So it's a square carrot cake, 17 feet long, 17 feet wide, weighs over, it used 1,760 pounds of carrots, 700 pounds of butter, thousands of eggs, and 2,000 pounds of icing.
Whoa.
Total weight, and this is not Ted after he ate it, but total weight, 6,044 pounds.
Wow.
So I hope they have, yeah.
How do you bake that?
Oh, good question, Karen. So they had to bake it in little cakes. He didn't have a
Oh,
pan big enough, so he baked little cake. But he said, he's hoping that eating that many carrots makes up for 80 years of not eating his vegetables at dinner. So he's going to get a lifetime worth of vegetables all in one birthday cake.
got it.
Yeah. The there's 430 cakes in here. Took over a month to bake each individual cake and to make up the final product. So I mean, I love carrot cake. That's my favorite cake. But if I got to wait a month, if that cake has been sitting for a month before I finally get to eat it, that's about, I think that's about a week away from being a carrot brick that I
Yeah.
in my garden, in my driveway. Now, he said he got a birthday greeting as a result of this cake. He got a birthday greeting from the International Space Station. The astronauts up there saw the candles all the way from space, all 80 candles on that cake. He's also up for, now they haven't approved the record yet. He's also for the record of the most ice cream melted while the birthday boy was cutting the cake.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
Oh,
sure.
that would make sense. Yeah.
oh, yeah. I mean, that had 17 by 77. That had to, how's he gonna? They probably did like Tom Cruise hanging from the ceiling in the bank. They had to suspend him from the ceiling with a knife and kind of swing him across the cake, slicing it back and forth
Yeah.
in order to slice it all.
What's it in the middle of the cake?
I think it's a message, Karen.
Okay.
They
I think
didn't.
I see the numeral 80, I think.
Looks like 80. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably his name, maybe I don't know. Who else knows instruction? Maybe hello to the space station. The so I as I said, I love carrot cake, but believe it or not, I like other cakes that are made with vegetables. John, I'll start with you. Can you think of any other cakes that are made with vegetables?
Boy, offhand, Paul, no.
Karen, I'll bet you can. I'll expand it to cakes.
Well, zucchini, but that'd be zucchini bread.
Zucchini bread, yeah. There's also pumpkin cake. I think pumpkin
Oh,
technically is a vegetable.
Or banana bread, which is more of a fruit, obviously.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's right, John. It is. It's more of a fruit, so we'll disqualify that one. But thanks for playing along. So I went looking before I tell you what my other favorite cake is. I found recipes for parsnip cake. Now, parsnips are those things, they look like albino carrots.
yeah.
They don't taste like carrots. So you probably have to put an awful lot of sugar in that cake. If you want a green cake, most people go with pistachio or just fill it with green food coloring. But I found a recipe for spinach cake. Again, not something that I would want in a cake, but people are making spinach cake. In Japan, they have something called the salad cake. Get ready for this. Beetroot, celery, sweet potato, and zucchini all mushed together. I'm guessing they top it with a ranch icing
Oh,
to make it taste like a salad. So my favorite ingredient, my favorite vegetable ingredient for cake, and I have made this cake numerous times, and I love to fool people with it, is sauerkraut cake. Have either one of you ever had a sauerkraut cake?
no.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, okay. I won't tell you if I do make it for you because it tastes like chocolate cake. You would not believe that there's sauerkraut in it. And I tell people it's sauerkraut and then they don't want to taste it. If I just tell them that it's a cake and you have to guess what flavor it is, they love it. They love it. It tastes like chocolate cake. So look it up. Look it up. For anybody out there, any bakers out there, sauerkraut cake, you'll thank me for it. Just make sure you rinse the sauerkraut really well.
Okay.
Yeah. And don't put kielbasa on the top. Kielbasa candles in the cake. All right. So John's our sports guy, but I've got a sports record of my own for him. So this is from Australia. A guy by the name of Thomas Flinix. He now holds the Guinness World Record for the world's fastest golf drive. So what he did was he stood in front of one of those machines that they have at golf courses now, indoors, or these indoor golf driving ranges, where you hit a ball into a screen and the radar measures how fast the ball was traveling. So his ball was electronically measured by the speed machine at 235.1 miles per hour.
Whoa.
That's pretty fast. That's officially faster than Tiger Woods can either drive a ball or his car.
Oh boy.
So fast. It's so fast, John, that golf courses where he plays, they charge him an extra fee because he scorches the greens when his ball lands. So
that is some kind of speed there. Wow.
That is some kind of speed. You took the words right out of my mouth. So fast that birds that are on the golf courses, they demand that they be notified when he has a tee time so that they can go hide.
Yeah.
When he actually does this, he plays putt-putt too. And when he plays putt-putt, the clown on the 18th hole shuts his eyes.
Intimidated. He's intimidated.
Oh, that's scary, John. It's scary.
Sure.
So he's in Australia. I'm not sure if he's on the PGA Tour, if he just likes to drive the ball. But on the PGA Tour, Aldrich Potgieter, and I don't know too many golfers anymore, but Aldrich Potgieter is the longest driver on the PGA Tour. He averages 324 yards per drive, which is a long way. He leads the field by a significant margin, so he's one of the longest drivers. His drives are so long that when he goes to the driving range, they make him use a bungee ball, so they don't have to go looking for it in the woods behind the. John, I was thinking, way back in the day, we went to a golf-themed music festival once. Let's see if you remember. We saw Bungee Ball open for Culture Club, the Sandpipers, the Eagles, the Birds, and Hole.
Oh.
And if you don't remember the names, you might remember that Hole covered that Three Dog Night golf hit 1.
Oh.
But big letdown at the end there.
That's okay.
So this Aldrich guy, Potgieter, and the guy by the name of Gary Woodland are the fastest drivers on the PGA Tour. Their club hit, to compare to this guy, 235 miles an hour, their average speed is 128 miles per hour. Their average speed. So on every drive, they're hitting 128 miles an hour. John Daly. Now, I do know who John Daly is. He's a very famous golfer for a variety of reasons. He saw this and he's hearing about all these golfers, and he says, I'll have what they're having on the 18th hole, because obviously they're not drinking the same thing that he's drinking there. So he I don't know. Anyways, so there's a golf sports story.
Oh, that's quite a story. Wow.
Yeah, John, I know you're not a big golfer. I'm certainly not a golfer at all. But that's still impressive to me.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I can't even throw a ball that fast. So and we talked about this before fairly recently. I am not a big fan of daylight savings time. I'm not so much the time itself, but the switch to daylight saving time.
Right.
I like it being lighter later, but the switch just absolutely kills me. I lose an hour, and it's not like my remote. I find my remote when I lose that. I never find a lost hour. So it's just gone. You never get it back. I can't buy another hour someplace. I can't go to Best Buy and buy another hour. It's gone. It's gone. But as much as I hate the changing of the times, these guys in England hate it even more. So I didn't know this, but I'll put in a plug here for my other podcast, which is called It Could Only Happen on Earth, which is a paranormal news podcast hosted by myself and Marcus Louth. And Marcus is in England. And Marcus informed me a couple weeks ago when I showed up early for the podcast that they also switch to daylight saving time. They call it British saving time over there. So they just switched, and no one has a bigger job when it comes to switching the clocks than this guy and his partners right here. They are responsible. They are horological conservators working for the royal family. And it's their job to change all 6,000 clocks that are in the various castles and residences of the royal family.
Wow.
Wow.
That's right, John. All in one day, one night, they have to do this because the royal family won't tolerate waking up the next morning and having the wrong time on one of their clocks. Six, yeah, 1,600 clock. That includes the one with the snooze alarm that King Charles uses when on days when he's supposed to have a meeting with Andy or with one of the son that he doesn't like. I forget his name, Harry. And Charles also asked these guys. He says, after my visit to the United States coming up in a couple of weeks, I think we're going to move all the clocks back to 1775 and invade again.
Oh boy.
Toughest job, John. The toughest job, the toughest clock to work.
Yeah, sure.
What they have to do, they have to scoop an hour's worth of time out of all of the hourglasses that were handed down from centuries ago to the royal family. So their job is called horological. Horological is the term for what they do, not logical whore. Logical.
Okay.
John, I don't know if you remember this, but we saw the Logical Whores open for John Lee Hooker. You remember?
Paul, again, I have to refer to your I have to defer to your memory on that because I don't recall.
John Lee was not he was not a logical hooker, but they were logical whores.
Okay.
They have to do the watches too. The watches, and that King Charles must have a sundial somewhere that was passed down from William the Conqueror. And it's a big stone sundial in the backyard of one of the palaces, and they got to go out there, probably with a power equipment and turn it 1 hour so that it's now on British savings time. If they want to keep with the theme, doing it like they did back in the old day, they have to bring in slaves from Scotland and tie them to it and make the slaves do it. I don't think they do that. The clock that they said is the most interesting clock in the whole collection is the Anne Boleyn clock. Anne Boleyn, who was
Anne Boleyn, yeah.
Boleyn, yeah. Well, she was married to who, John?
Henry VIII.
Henry VIII. And which one? Do you remember which one she was?
I do not remember. No, I cannot recall which wife she was. No.
What was the saying? Died beheaded, died, ran away. I forget how you keep track of the 6 wives and how they met their demise. She was number 2. I will say that. So she was the one who was they got this clock on their wedding in 1532, and when Anne was beheaded, she knew it was Henry's favorite clock, and he liked changing it himself. And she said to get even with him, she licked this clock all over the place, so that anyways, So then I started thinking, 1,600 clocks. Now they're not all in the palace, but there's probably 500 or 600 clocks in each of these palaces.
Mm-hmm.
Poor King Charles, with those giant ears of his, he has to listen to all that ticking and all those chimes. What does he do? Does he fold his ears in while he's walking around? Or
that's a question to ponder. Yeah.
Question to ponder, John. Even worse, if it's really that loud, maybe he had little lamps that he shoves in his ears to plug it up. Okay, all right, enough on the clocks. Done picking that. You know what? This is funny. We have some regular listeners to the show. One is an old friend of both John and myself, Dan. Dan is in South Carolina, and I heard from him recently, and he said to stop picking on King Charles. So sorry, Dan, I forgot that you asked. You had a request. I'll try harder next time. So we know how bad the potholes are in Cleveland. How bad are they? We have skateboarders that do half pipes. That's where they practice in potholes. You've seen them, John. The kids,
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
oh yeah,
for sure.
kids are
Yeah.
rock climbing in the potholes. That's how
Yeah.
they are. Yeah, frat boys, frat fraternity guys from Cleveland State and John Carroll. They're doing bungee jumps into them. That's how deep they are. But it could be worse. As bad as our potholes are, it could be worse. And where are they worse? In South Africa, of all places.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there's a lady. Her name is Helen Zill. She's 75 years old. She's running for mayor of Johannesburg, South Africa. And her platform is fill the potholes. Why? Here's a picture of Helen, one of her campaign pictures. Helen is scuba diving in a pothole.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there she is. I guess it would be snorkeling. The headline said scuba diving. This picture, she's actually snorkeling. Hadn't been filled in 3 years. So this pothole's been there for 3 years. It's so big, it's filled with water, deep enough for Helen to snorkel. So the mayor, so the current mayor who's also running, he's all embarrassed. So he says, "Oh no, we'll take care of it. No one will ever be swimming in this pothole again." He didn't fill it. He filled it with piranhas. So nobody's going to go swimming, but you still can't drive over. Sounds like a Cleveland solution there.
Oh my gosh.
You know, John, back in the day, I think we used to swim in potholes. Swimming in potholes is what we called spring break.
Sad but true.
Yeah. So Helen, 75 years old, she still looks good in a bathing suit, in her swimsuit, snorkeling outfit, whatever it is there. So she's now in the lead, not only for mayor, but also for Miss South Africa. So, we could be hearing more from Helen. Now, once she paves it, if she wins and she paves it, she may want to talk to this guy he's in the United States. His name is Johnny Cruz Buckingham. He set the world record for the fastest towed asphalt skiing. Okay, he was towed behind a car on an asphalt road while wearing wooden skis, dragged across a parking lot, reached a speed of 69 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
a little dangerous.
A little.
Yeah.
I would. All that vibration, it was probably like a foot massage for a little while at least. But I was thinking, big deal. In Cleveland, yesterday was Dingus Day, and we had all kind of guys named Ski going faster behind the floats in the Dingus Day parade than this ski guy. So
little play on words there, Paul.
Play on words there, John. Like Lindsey Vonn was watching the news. Remember the skier Lindsey Vonn? She looks at this guy and she says, "Hold my beer and watch this." So she may be trying this too.
Oh.
Asphalt skiing. I don't know if you knew this, John. Asphalt skiing is one of the events in the Jamaican Winter Olympics.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow,
we're going to have
okay.
to cover that in one of our sports segments.
All right, sure.
Now, for those of you who are wondering and not watching us on YouTube, where you can see the picture, these are real skis. They're not on wheels. So the actual wooden ski is touching the asphalt. Of course, by the end, his feet are pretty much on sawdust. I can't imagine that they would survive by the time he got up to 69 miles an hour. Resorts like in Minnesota and Colorado, they're hoping this catches on. This is a way they can use their ski jumps during the summer. They can convince people, to train for asphalt skiing by going down the ski jump with no snow on it.
Yeah.
John, this is where you find the line between brave and stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
There's a line somewhere, and you just have to, somewhere bravery stops and stupid begins.
Or as they say, discretion is the better part of valor.
There you go. That's a much nicer way of saying it. If he's late for work, and he can't find his shoes and he can't find his keys, but he can find his skis. And maybe he puts the skis on and he runs out and he grabs onto the bumper of a car going by and hopes that they're going to hit. Then it's not stupid. It might be brave.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, Karen, get ready. This is one of our worst food stories of the year. And we've had some bad food stories. So there's a hot new food trend in England. And, England needs some hot new food trends because it's all the weird foods that they have are just kind of bland. But this is going to take the cake. The new trend in England is a process of eating that they call nose to tail eating. Now we have farm to table. This is nose to tail. What does nose to tail mean? It means they don't waste a single piece of an animal. They eat everything on the pig from nose to tail, everything on the lamb, everything on the goat, everything on the cow from nose to tail. So they're putting lungs, tongues, kidneys, livers, pig's heads. They're even putting pig's heads on the menu.
No.
Yeah. Pig's head stew. I thought that was what I used to call the cable news, pig's head stew. But it's actually something that they're serving in England. Popular breakfast. Oh, well, here's a picture of one of the dishes here before I go any further. So just
no.
That is a pig's nose casserole of some sort. Roasted pig's noses. Stuffed. I believe that's stuffed pig's nose. So, or the proper term I imagine is pig's snout. With a little gravy on it.
Wow. I don't know. That's a tough dish for me to handle. I'll tell you that.
You wouldn't try it. I'd try that. I'd try it once. It's stuffed, how bad can it be?
It'd be awfully snotty.
So a popular breakfast in England as a part of this nose to tail eating is deviled kidneys on toast. And I'm not going to show you a picture of it, but deviled big kidneys on toast for breakfast. If you add a toy, it's an English unhappy meal, basically.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. So they call these forgotten cuts of meat, which in Cleveland, we don't call them forgotten. We call them kishka. We put everything that's left over after you make the sausages into kishka. And that's what it is. It's it's called offal, OFFAL, offal. If you like it, great. If you don't, you say it's awful. It's easy to remember. So another thing that they serve on toast is lamb's lungs. And I mentioned that to a lamb, and this is what the lamb looked like when I.
Yes, I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I think everybody feels the same way. Lamb's lungs on toast. John, I believe that we went to a concert where we saw a band called Lamb's Lungs. Lamb's Lungs. They opened for Spinal Tap.
Somehow, Paul, I don't remember that.
You don't? Okay, maybe you remember this, John. Lamb's Lungs covered a song that I know you remember. The song that by Lamb's Lungs was called Ram-a-Lama Ding Dong. Now, you remember that song, don't you?
I do remember that song. Yes, I do.
Well, let's see how well you remember it. Time for some trivia here. Get ready for our trivia contest in a couple of weeks. Ram-a-Lama Ding Dong was recorded by what band? The original recording. We know some other bands are recording it, but the first recorded by what doo-wop band? I'll even give you a hint. It was in 1959.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
I'll give you another hint. It was the name of a car that nobody bought.
The Corsairs? The Corsairs?
Oh, close. No, the Edsels.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Released in 1958, recorded in 57, released in 1958. Ram-a-Lama Ding Dong. Now, I'm not going to make you sing it. I'm not going to attempt to sing it, but the lyrics are worth remembering. Here you go. Ramalama Ding Dong. Lyrics. I've got a girl named Ramalama Ding Dong. She's everything to me. Ramalama Ding Dong. I'll never set her free, 'cause she's mine, all mine. Bow, bow, bow. Ramalama Ding Dong.
Those are some lyrics there. Wow.
Now that's music. That's music right there.
Yeah.
Now, some people get Ramalama Ding Dong confused with another song, Shamalama Ding Dong. John, do you remember what famous movie featured the song Shamalama Ding Dong?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank on this one too. I'm sorry, Paul.
Shamalama Ding Dong is the most memorable song from the movie Animal House.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Sure,
1978. What was the name of the band in Animal House? Played
Otis
at
Day,
the
Otis
frat
Day
frat
and the
party.
Yeah,
Oh.
Otis Day and the Nights.
Otis Day and the Nights. That's right. Shamalama Ding Dong. Written, not to be confused, not the same song. It was written specifically for the movie. Also, should not be confused with another song with Ram in it, and I don't know if Lamb is in it, but Ram is definitely in it, and that is Black Betty. I remember that song, Black Betty?
I do remember that song.
Now, if you thought the other lyrics were bad, here's just some of the lyrics for that classic hit, Black Betty. Well, what was the name of the band, by the way? 1977. Who did Black
Oh, I can't recall that one either. Sorry.
Ram Jam.
Ram Jam. Okay.
But in fact, for the purist out there, that is actually an African American field song. They used to sing it in the field, and it was originally written by Leadbelly. That's the legend.
Okay.
Wrote it 1938, I think, after hearing people in the field singing the song, he recorded it. So Black Betty, look it up, listen to the music. It is the most, you cannot not dance while listening to Black Betty. Okay, John, you agree with that?
I would agree.
Yes, very, very moving, uplifting, not to be confused with inspirational. And you'll understand when you hear the lyrics.
Oh.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam-a-lamb. Whoa, Black Betty, bam-a-lamb. She's from Birmingham, bam-a-lamb. Way down in Alabama, bam-a-lamb. Well, she's shaking that thing, bam-a-lamb. Boy, she makes me sing, bam-a-lamb. Now that is rock poetry, right there.
Yeah, right.
And I think the lamb picture agrees with me here.
Oh.
On that musical note, I think we're going to end my segment here. And that means it's time for, let's see if I have a logo for you, John. Yeah, What in the World of Sports with John Denalo. Regular listeners of the show know that John and I go back to our college days at John Carroll University in Cleveland. We're fraternity brothers. John knows more about sports and trivia than anybody I know. Despite today, these were extremely tough questions today. I'm getting John in shape because we have a big trivia bowl coming up in a few weeks. So we're working hard with really obscure trivia to get ready for that. But in the meantime, John is responsible for finding sports that live up to our motto, real sport, sometimes strange, always funny. And regular listeners and viewers know every week John manages to find another one. This week is no exception. What's our sport this week, John?
Oh, Paul, yes. Thank you again for the introduction. Our sport this week is unusual, but you may have heard of it before. In fact, you may have even attempted this sport in gym class. The sport is rope climbing. Let me explain. Rope climbing is a sport in which competitors attempt to climb up a suspended vertical rope using only their hands. Rope climbing was actually an early Olympic gymnastic event. Competitors climbed a 25-foot rope until 1896, when an 8-meter or 26.3-foot rope was used. Athletes then climbed for speed, starting from a seated position on the floor and using only their hands and arms, but kicking with legs was permitted at that time. However, at the 1896 Olympic Games, competitors were then being ranked by both time and style, holding an L position on a rope of 15 meters, and the climbers that did not reach the top of 15 meters were then eliminated.
Wow.
Now, in all succeeding Olympics through the 1932 games, competitors were judged strictly by the time of the ascent on a shorter rope. At the top of the climb, there was a circular tambourine with a lamp back on its underside, which the climber was required to touch. Several judges with stopwatches timed the climbs, and an acceptable official time was then agreed upon. Now, the Olympics could not decide if it was an artistic gymnastics event or a timed track and field event, so it was then dropped permanently in 1932. In the United States, competitive climbing on both 20 feet and 25 feet 1.5-inch diameter natural fiber ropes was then sanctioned by both the AAU and the NCAA until the early 1960s, when those organizations also dropped the events. Today, rope climbing is practiced regularly at the World Police and Fire Games, which I was never really aware of until we did this research. And in the Czech Republic, the country resurrected the sport in 1993, and they hold local and national competitions. The world record for the 20-foot climb was 2.8 seconds, first achieved by the American Don Perry in the 1950s. That's incredible when you think about that.
Yeah.
He goes that far in 20 feet in 2.8 seconds.
Yeah.
The official Guinness World Record for rope climb requires a 5-meter or 16.4-foot rope with a 60-second time limit using the hands only from a seated position, and the upward 5-meter climbs are counted cumulatively. The current world record is 27.8 meters or 91 feet 2 inches and was set by Marcus Bondi on January 31, 2010. The world record for climbing up a 50-meter rope is 165.68 seconds, set by Thomas Butler Van Tonder from Johannesburg, South Africa. The world record for climbing up a 15-meter rope is 13.3 seconds, set by Martin Vasek from Sokol Libician nad Vitol, Czech Republic. And finally, the world record for climbing an 8-meter rope, believe it or not, is 4.8 seconds, set by Ailes Nowak from Sokol Sternberg, Czech Republic. So in closing, most school gymnasiums still have ropes attached to ceiling beams. Gym teachers say it's the best way to scare kids into doing push-ups and other exercises.
No kidding. I would do
Little
anything.
bit of motivation there for everyone.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Anything rather than trying to climb the rope. There's a
Right.
picture of Simone Biles, by the way.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's who that is. Sure.
Yeah, I think look at the muscles in her arms bulging out.
Yeah.
As she goes
Oh
up.
yeah. Right.
It's
Yeah.
a hard thing to do. And John, you pointed out she's in the proper form, in an L shape without using her legs. I remember when we were attempting to do this in grade school and high school, most of the guys would use their legs as well. You wrap your arms around.
Oh yeah, sure, exactly. It was difficult.
Hold on for dear life. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I don't. I wouldn't. I don't. I can't. I don't think in 13 seconds I barely got one hand over the other. I think.
Oh, I think you're in good company when it comes to that, Paul, for sure.
Oh yeah. It's not not the safest thing in the world, not the safest sport. But it's hard to believe that it was actually a sport, a competitive sport.
Well, yeah, sure, exactly, and it's gone through its paces though. But yeah, it's back in the day it was, but you know,
both speed and style. That was the other
speed
thing.
and style. Yes,
Speed
exactly.
and style.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I don't. I would like to see gymnasts do it again. I think, looking at Simone Biles, I can imagine them doing that. Although I don't think there's anything that's done for speed anymore in Olympic gymnastics. I think it's all style. So that'd be kind of cool. Some for them, not for me.
Maybe we'll get there'll be some groundswell support, Paul, for it as time goes on here. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's no way I would not even climb a rope if there was beer at the top.
Not enough more, not enough
Not enough, or money, even money. However, that did remind me of an instance in college where there was a rope climbing challenge going around among the fraternities at our school. Do you remember that, John, by any chance?
I do remember this. Yes, I do, Paul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Who won?
I don't think it was us. I don't think.
Well, actually, if we were doing rope climbing, I probably went home for the weekend that weekend because I didn't want to have anything to do with it, as I said. But I do remember that as an offshoot of that, we were talking about it and we were thinking, what else could we do with the rope besides climbing it? And we thought about hoisting beer up on a rope would be an interesting competition. So we counter challenged the other fraternities to beer rope climbing. And here's an example. This is a beer rope climbing implementation that I came up with. I think that looked like about 3 cases going up into a dorm room, so that's not too bad right there. However, John, of course, John was much smarter than I am, and he invented something that is used to this day, and that is the beer keg zip line.
One of my prouder moments, Paul.
That's right. A way to get a keg of beer from one side of the campus to the other in 2.8 seconds, I believe, was the time. But you may remember this. This was a challenge that went out to the fraternity. But at that time, we started. Girls had started attending our school, and there were sororities being formed. And believe it or not, a sorority won the beer climbing competition, and I think you'll see why when you see their entry into it. Who's going to argue with somebody climbing up and handing you a beer like that? I don't know. I must have been down at Edgewater Park. I'm not sure what she's hanging from up there, but nobody really cares. Just take the beer.
Right, exactly.
All right, rope climbing, Olympic rope climbing, all the way from John Donalo Sports. Thanks again, John, for that great sport.
You're welcome, Paul, Karen, and audience. Thank you.
Yeah, now regular listeners know that when we hit the end of sport, that means it's time for everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the Co Hosts. Oh, the game that's taking the world by storm. Really simple game to play, but hard to win, as John and Karen will tell you. It's simple in that I have 3 stories, saying similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference: those stories were real. The challenge of Bluff the Co Host is to determine if the story I'm telling is real or if it's a bluff. Could be 1, 2, could be all 3. We don't know. John and Karen and all of you playing at home have to decide real or bluff. Wagering is allowed, so place your bets. John and Karen, hands on the buzzer. Let's get right to story number 1. Some restaurant should be called, "You know you have too much money if you're eating here." A good example is a restaurant in Hong Kong where the hottest dish is a single kernel of popcorn. That's right, a chef will come out to your table with a small grill. In a small pan, he pours a teaspoon of expensive truffle oil, then places a single unpopped gourmet kernel in the middle. As it begins to sizzle, he turns it slowly with a bamboo spoon until it pops. The kernel is then gently salted with imported black salt, doused with a tiny dollop of butter from a Kobe beef cow, and placed on fine china in front of the anxious diner. The single kernel of corn dish is $20. And the restaurant owner says it is currently one of the most popular items on their menu. Okay, a restaurant in, what did I say it was, in Hong Kong, serving a single kernel of gourmet popcorn, $20, real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
How big is the kernel?
How big is the last question I thought you would ask? How big is the kernel? If you know
Well,
what
I mean, are they those small little kernels or is it a big
well,
corn?
it's a gourmet kernel. How's that? That's the best way I can describe it. It's a
Um,
gourmet kernel of popcorn.
I'm going to say it's real, but I hope it's not.
Wow. Okay. Karen says it's real, but she hopes it's not. John, how about you?
No, I'm gonna disagree with Karen on this one. I want to say it's a bluff. I don't see how you could get away with just serving such a small item as being an appetizer, regardless of the size of the kernel.
I
That's what
didn't
I
say it
think.
was an appetizer. It could be the entree for all we know.
Wow, either way, as an entree or as an appetizer. So I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Okay. John says that the single kernel of popcorn is a bluff. Karen says it's real. Let's check with the judges. And the judges say, congratulations, go to John. That is a bluff. Boy, if you're paying $20 for a single kernel popcorn, you have too much money. That's
I would agree on that point. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
all right. So, John, congratulations. You are starting off with one right answer. Boy, you're breaking
Good.
the trend from the past few weeks. Let's hope it continues.
Sure. Sure.
And of course, Karen, you're a consistent winner. So keep an eye on Karen.
Okay.
There we go. Story number 2. From our When Life Gives You Lemons file comes this story of a florist in Greece whose business is wilting because of the high cost of gas, which makes it more expensive for him to import flowers and to deliver them. Even worse, his male customers have nothing to give their spouses and girlfriends for anniversaries or to apologize. So the florist decided to team up with a local card company and make scratch and sniff cardboard bouquets. He takes full-size flower bouquet photos, which are then printed on stiff cardboard, coated with a floral scented paste, which smells like real flower arrangements when scratched and sniffed, but only at half the price. And he can mail it instead of delivering it. Customers say their significant others are scratching, sniffing, and smiling. The florist still makes a profit, so everybody is happy. Okay, we'll start with John, the florist in Greece who can't afford to deliver flowers, so now he's selling scratch and sniff bouquets. Real or bluff?
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, this is really a strange one, as they all are in Bluff the Co Host. But I think it's going to be so strange that it's real. I'm going to say it's a true story.
Okay, John says it's true. Would you buy one?
No,
No.
no, knowing it's not the real thing. What's the point?
Okay, I got it. So John says it's real. Karen, how about you?
I hope it's a fake, so I'm going to say it's not real.
Okay, Karen says it's a bluff. John says it's real. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, congratulations. Go to Karen. That is a bluff. No such thing. Full-size floral scratch and sniff bouquet. I'll tell you what, if I sent that to my lovely wife, it would be the last scratch and sniff floral.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would be wearing it. Okay, so that means the score is tied 1-1. Points are double in round number 3. So anything can happen. We could end up with a tie or we could end up with a winner. Let's see what happens. Story number 3. The Guinness World Records people say they have no category for the world's deepest innie belly button. But if they did, it would go to a 21-year-old model in India whose inward pointing belly button can hide a 12-inch long stick. The model has a doctor's note showing she has done nothing to make her innie deeper and says it really doesn't cause her any problems as long as she stuffs a rubber plug in it to keep out lint, water, and bugs. Medical experts can't explain why her belly button is so deep, but she wishes Guinness would give her the record anyways. Of course, that would mean that there would also be a world record outie belly button, and no one wants to see that, let alone measure it. So kids, don't stick anything in your belly, in your any belly button, or you'll be getting a time outie.
Oh.
Okay, so the lady, a 21-year-old model in India, whose any belly button measures 12 inches deep. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
It just doesn't sound possible, so I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Okay, medically possible.
Medically possible.
Medically possible. Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you?
I'm going to say it's a bluff too. Although it's kind of tough. I mean, you could see that if it's a world, I mean, or a purported world record, for that distance, I guess, or measurement or what have you. But no, I'm going to say it's a bluff too.
But John says it's a bluff. Let me ask you this, John. Does a 12-inch deep any does that sound sexy to you?
No, not at all. Not at all. We already have Karen's answer on that one.
I know there's guys listening to the show who are hoping it's real because they're really turned on and they want to see the video. So John and Karen both say that's a bluff. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's correct. Yes.
It's a bluff. Let's check with the judge. And the judges say, congratulations, we have a tie. Both of you are correct. That is a bluff. I believe the world record for any is about 3/4 of an inch. So 12 inches.
My gosh.
That would make sense.
Believe it or not, there is a world
right.
record for any belly buttons. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of another exciting episode of our podcast, What in the World. I want to thank Karen Hale, our host, producer, and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. Thanks you so much, Karen, for everything you do for our show and for all the other podcasts at newclevelandradio.net. Visit us on your favorite podcasting platform, but especially visit us on YouTube and follow us there, or subscribe to us on YouTube. That way we know that you're out there, and it helps us expand the podcast. Please, if you're watching through channel Cleveland 13 News, thank you so much for joining us through there. Let them know how much you enjoy the podcast. Let us know. Karen and I are both on Facebook. You can send us messages there. You can send Karen a message through newclevelandradio.net. Send me one through my website, paulseaburn.com. Do all those things. Follow us on Facebook. And as I said before, I like to test out jokes beforehand. So if there's one you don't like, you can always send me a message then and spare me the embarrassment to get on the show. So there you go. Thank you so much for Karen for all of that. And John, thank you so much, John Denalo, our co-host of What in the World of Sports, color commentary, and all around good guy. Puts up with me every week and comes back again. Thanks again, John.
You're very welcome, Paul, Karen, and audience. It's always fun to do the show.
Always fun to do the show. And that means that we hope that you, our listeners, have as much fun as we do putting the show on, because you're the reason why we do it every week. And it's good therapy. Laughter is the best medicine, and all those great things. We truly believe that. So it's good for us to do the podcast every week. And we hope it's good for you to tune in every week, no matter when you do it. If you do it live, you do it in the future, we don't care. Just do it. Just
Absolutely.
listen to the show. Yeah, and have a good time today, tomorrow, and with the rest of your life. And if What in the World played a small part in that, then we're glad for that. And on that note, I think it's still a beautiful day outside, although pretty cold. So carry on with the rest of your day. Everybody have a great day out there, and we'll see you next week.
Have a
Bye,
great week,
everybody.